Right,
From one Nashville legend to another. How you like that?
Speaking of our next guest, all right, so earlier we had Ben Kennedy on, and we were talking about his title, Senior Vice President of Strategy and Innovation. That's nothing, because Candice Lee's title at Vanderbilt is Vice Chancellor, Athletics and University Affairs, and Athletic Director. That's the title. And she joins us now. Candice Lee, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. That's quite the title. Is your business card like extra supersize?
It's not. It just has really small font.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning. I think the last time I saw you, I was with where I think I was giving my tour to Clinton Yates of the history of the College World Series, and it was up on the little what used to be Rosenblatt Stadium, which is like the zoo parking lot now. And yeah, I don't know how a while ago, but how's your winter been?
It's been good, and thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been good. You know, like everyone else, trying to deal with the realities of COVID and the changing world of college athletics, but I have no complaints. I'm very grateful. It's been good.
Well, let's dive into that. The changing landscape of college athletics is seismic with NIL, with transfer portals, with in your particular context, adding new members to the league here in a matter of a couple years. So what on your desk every day right now garners the most attention when it comes to this seismic shift in collegiate athletics?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of things right now that some are within our control, many are without. I think the biggest thing is trying to ensure that we're keeping our student athletes front and center. So it's clear that we have to modernize what we're doing. Do that. But I think for myself, and I think I can speak for my colleagues too, that we also want to make sure that we preserve what's great about college athletics and that we make decisions that are values-based and we're clear about what those values are. So just trying to ensure that those changes that come don't undermine what we all love and why we got in this business to begin with. And I hate to even use the word business. There are certainly business aspects, but giving young people the chance to succeed, that's what we all signed up for.
Well, and to that point, so much of your job, and Candice Lee, Athletic Director of Vanderbilt, joining us now, so much of your job, if not the biggest part of your job, is working with young people and transitioning them into, I'm putting it in air quotes, the real world. A week like this one, where there have been threats against HBCUs and where there are lawsuits being filed against the NFL with accusations, deep accusations of racism. How do you navigate that, being the person who you are in the position that you are with the student athletes that you deal with every single day?
You know, I think as a black woman in this role, I think that while I think I offer a unique lens and a perspective, you know, much of what we're dealing with, that's also been my story every day. There's a sense of vulnerability that I feel like I have to provide to our community and our student athletes to say, hey, I know that this can be really tough and this is hard, but the other thing that I know about athletics is that it provides a platform for us to make a difference, to shine light on issues, really, really hard issues. You know, you can look at athletics just historically, and so many things have come out that have affected society, and athletics has been the vehicle to do it. This is hard stuff. You know, this dates back to the racial reckoning that the country endured after George Floyd was murdered. And it's such a privilege to have this lens, but it's not easy. And I try to just convey that to our student athletes. I mean, we're living in a time where everybody does not value everybody like they should. That's not new to this country. But perhaps what can be new is us trying to affect real change. But it takes courage to do that. It's hard. There's some pain involved in that. But if I didn't use my perspective effectively to help young people, I don't think I'd be doing my job.
Well said. And I want to just kind of stay on that same thought process, Candice. I remember interviewing Lovie Smith several years ago when he got the job at Illinois as the head football coach. And he was discussing with me how much it meant to him, how important it was, how vital it was as a leader that these young men under his stead were coming to him saying they had new belief and new inspiration because they see somebody who looks like them in a leadership role. And Lovey told me that he was empowered that way by Tony Dungy. So my question to you is, what do not only young African-American women, but young women in general say to you about the fact that you're in this role as a leader of a Power 5 athletic department?
You know, one of the first things that I remember, I was named interim in February of 2020, and there was just so much going on. It happened very, very quickly, and I suddenly found myself in that position. And I remember coming back to my office, and there was a big banner on the wall that several of our student athletes had signed, just saying congratulations. And many of them were young women who said, I can't believe there's a woman who's leading our department. I think that was when it really hit me and I understood that representation mattered, but you're talking about young women who now look and say, oh, I can be that. And that's the way that I felt when I saw, when I came into this league. Joan Cronin was leading women's athletics for Tennessee, and Bev Lewis was leading women's athletics for Arkansas. So they probably, I don't know that they know that they set an example for me, because when I saw athletic directors in the room, I saw them. And then Carla Williams was named athletic director, the first black woman to be an AD in the Power 5 at the University of Virginia. I think that was 2017. And I remember, one, being really proud, but also, there was part of me that was a little frustrated because she's one of the finest leaders, most brilliant thinkers I've ever been around. And part of me wondered why it took so long. But that's just a reality check. We still have conditions that sometimes don't allow people who have earned positions to have opportunities. So you see Carla, and then you see me, and you see Nina, and there are so many other women. Sandy Barber, she's been a great mentor to me, and she allowed me to see what was possible. But I think I'd also be remiss if I didn't say, but there are also men. I grew up in a family where we were told we could do anything. That came from my father, and as well as my mother. And then David Williams, who was our longtime athletics director, he's one of the biggest proponents of Title IX, gender equity, and equal opportunity that I've ever been around. And so it does take all of us, right, to create an environment where people who deserve opportunities, regardless of gender, regardless of race, get those chances.
Candice Lee, athletics director at Vanderbilt, joining us now. I got to ask you this, because you have a perspective that a lot of athletic directors, quite frankly, don't have. You played ball at Vanderbilt, and I don't know if a lot of people realize that. You were on the 2002 SEC championship basketball team. So do you ever pull out the tape and go, hey, listen, you think I don't understand, but, here I am, and I could ball?
That makes me laugh. Do I literally pull out the tape? No, because that was back when I had good knees, and my knees are terrible now, so I don't even want to think about that. But I do refer to, I do call upon my athletic experience, I think, every day in different ways, because there's a lot of lessons learned there that are transferable to what I do every day. And, sometimes you have to remind people that, what I want to do is create an environment like the one that I had where we won. We were revered on campus. We were highly regarded in the community. We served and were humble, but we also won a lot. Yeah. And, I am here to help shape the lives of young people and have an impact. I know that winning is a big part of that. So we're also here to do that. And I think sometimes we have to remind people of that at Vanderbilt, because we are the high academic institution, and we are also winners. And that's what we plan to continue to do.
Marty, what was it Dawn Staley told us? She said, yeah, I'd like to pull out the film, but it's on microfiche.
That's funny.
So VHS. Yeah, but that's all right. Yeah.
We'll let you run. We'll let you run after this. It is an obstacle for a lot of the coaches in your programs that the academic standards are so high at Vanderbilt University and unwavering. in that expectation for your student athletes. What is the challenge of winning when your academic standards are that way?
You know, I would push back a little, and I would say I wouldn't call it an obstacle. I would say that the academic standards are they are standards, and they are a unique element of our environment. And it's not an obstacle; it's an opportunity to find young people who are elite in every way. And so, is it a narrower pool? Sure. I mean, I think that's just being honest. That's just a reality. Is it something that we have to navigate? Yes, but if you come to Vanderbilt, you're coming because you want all of it, right? You want those who can compete at a high.
Oh.
Offer in our city, and those who want to be a part of a community that is committed to maximizing potential and excellence. So if you want that, because there's nothing about that that's bad. If you want that, then this is the place for you. And we've demonstrated it with so many. I mean, Tim Corbin is going to be the best example of showing what can be done without sacrificing standards. So if you want to do all of that and not sacrifice the opportunity to be great in every way, then why wouldn't you choose Vanderbilt?
Yeah, it's great.
Hey, as Tim Corbin once told me, the obstacle is that you have to accept the fact that
the way?
He said the obstacle is that sometimes you have to accept the fact that you're probably going to be the dumbest person in the room when you're having a team meeting.
Now that is true. It's humbling. It's very, very humbling to be around Vanderbilt, but I think that keeps us all honest, so that's not a bad thing.
Well, you've only been there since your freshman year, so it's but congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you somewhere down the road pretty soon.
Oh, I look forward to. Thank you for having me. Y'all have a great day. Thank you. And Anchor down.